rapping shit for a fashion show, and that's a no-no. Commit to an action, stick to your passion, yo, and then you gon' blow. Up in the game, fuck what they saying, suckers are lame, clutching your fame, fuckery king, cause these niggas won't stay and they lay a aim. Hey, let me tell you how I did it. Started as young and I was running with a bunch of niggas, brother, but the best. So the step to your set, to your flex, to your rep, it's right to wanna break out. When I lay them out, space, give me space when I lay it out. Time is money, I don't got nothing to play around. We'll lay it down quick, when the battle will be over in the first round, bitch. Ask niggas, you can ask of us, they're gonna tell you that we real and spectacular. If the jewelry truck, then I can back it up. Now give me 50 feet when I get in this heat. Niggas be spitting that shit that is soft. Be leaving rockers while I'm taking off. See out my verse, be the first thing ever to leave the earth. Break the glass ceiling and you're so feelings, feel them. These are the real ones, blooded or heady, be hunted authentic. You leaning on something I said, you know my name. Always came, and me and Nicole, no deep in your soul. You know we taking off, but she got the ball taking over the game. I'm a spinner, yeah, I'm a spinner. Hard hitter, boy, spinner, I deliver. I'm a spinner, yeah, I'm a spinner. Boy, split child, if you're a hitter. I'm a spinner, yeah, I'm a spinner. Hard hitter, boy, spinner, I deliver. I'm a spinner, yeah, I'm a spinner. Boy, split child, if you're a hitter. This man go ham, but I don't chew the swine like a savage. Still call me savage, and you like baggy pants, the way I play you out. You niggas booty and shot like your ass in hands. Wanna beef with me, you do not have a chance. To do a battle dance at a cattle range. You're too calcified for the wrath to hand you. These are monkey bars with a batch of bananas. Tone space pose game, it's the same name. Flow great, show the game how I play. Transform my call to the fake game. Bands off for the bars that I may say. Cop a house off the hits that I write you. Cop a house I was filled with the white dudes. A lot of soul be a foot like a race shoe. Got a whole team of spitters, that's my crew. Killing them, killing them. Firing shots that'll snipe you. Who is the best lyricist on the face of the planet? If you say pose, can you alright? Now these rap wildin' out at the guard hour. And the trap is surviving off God's power. They just stuck us in the hood so we can harm ours. Side of government roll like a car voucher. Food for thought, yeah, it's healthy, gon' trim the fat. Lean up, pull me, get the fucking Lord out ya. This flow put you in hospitals. I'm hospitable, hot spit at you, hot spitful, clipping your shots fired, not missing ya. You like that, right? Knock the heart out ya. I'm a spinner, yeah, I'm a spinner. Hard hitter, boy, spinner, I deliver. I'm a spinner, yeah, I'm a spinner. Boy, split child, if you're a hitter. I'm a spinner, yeah, I'm a spinner. Hard hitter, boy, spinner, I deliver. I'm a spinner, yeah, I'm a spinner. Boy, split child, if you're a hitter. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. But we're not done yet. You see, we've got a very special guest spitter tonight, and she wants to tell the trolls out there what the cold part is. Do you feel me? She ain't no joke, but she'll hit your ass with a punchline. So without further ado, allow me to introduce to you the queen-to-be, Mia Nicole.
Mia Nicole, A-Tone, say that I'm taking the game over. I see no lies in that. I have no problem with niggas that mumble, cause how could I be mad at something I don't understand? I just don't fuck with it, it's not my forte. I'm not a fan, I am a spitter, I told you I'm gross. Passing it down to my little lambs, cause damn it I can. I am the GOAT. Talking that shit, trying to bring out that side of me. Rappers are really a rare commodity. Bitch, I'm not a rapper, told you I'm a spitter. You don't know me, but you know nobody real. See you mad, cause my verse is untouchable. And really don't nobody fuck with you. So you took your time out to come in some. Just make sure you know who you coming for. I cannot beef with no old talentless nigga. Handle this nigga, I would really dismantle this nigga. Really, you just a fan, little nigga. I'm on my body, you nothing at all when you standing beside me. Bitch, I'm a real spitter, you talking your slugger. I'm dunking on niggas, a lobbing that shit off the tongue. Like Space Jam and I'm Jordan. I can't stand no waste the ass and put your face down in some water. And just forget to stand up. Like you forgot to man up. Yeah, and your arch nemesis daughter really is the hardest hard pill to swallow. No matter what you saying, I'm a win regardless.
She a spinner, yeah, she a spinner. Hard hitter, boy, spinner, she deliver. I'm a spinner, yeah, I'm a spinner. Boy, split child, if you're a hitter. I'm a spinner, yeah, I'm a spinner. Hard hitter, boy, spinner, I deliver. I'm a spinner, yeah, I'm a spinner. Boy, split child, if you're a hitter.
Look, statements ain't being made if I ain't speaking. I done set the bar, how they tryna fathom, so they reaching. It's like I'm Danny Phantom with it, how I'm creeping on the beat, trying to keep me on the leash. How this working for you? Learn not to give a damn about what they demanding me. Splurged on the bar, sounding like I lost my sanity. Maybe I didn't say you want to smoke, roll a blunt, then nigga, I'm gross. Down from the style to the floor, that's gross. Fly through the city, lead the whole thing. You better step down to me, cause I'ma get it by any means. Any means. Down from the style to the floor, that's gross. Fly through the city, lead the whole thing. You better step down to me, cause I'ma get it by any means. I had to see that everything ain't what it seemed. Used to think this shit was easy, but to me it seeming easier. Only thing that's missing is your people don't believe in you. I hit them with the straw, move on, cause I kid you not, I'm too broke. And I feel like I just might be on my way, but nowadays they be acting like the rich shit outdated. Hold up, this ain't no pager, nigga, I'm here to stay, little nigga, I'll up the wager on it. I felt like I was locked up in a cage or something until I started spitting bars and found a way out, no staying home. It's all fun and games till I start to play along. They say the line long, but my rain lasts long. So can you stand the rain? Cause I made the storm. They thought they had the game, nope, that's a false alarm. I'll be your favorite rapper till you wanna rap too. And when you less than number one, you'll be mad too. Down from the style to the floor, that's gross. Fly through the city, lead the whole thing. You better step down to me, cause I'ma get it by any means. Any means. Down from the style to the floor, that's gross. Fly through the city, lead the whole thing. You better step down to me, cause I'ma get it by any means. Any means.
Mamma mia, let me get on and rock well. I'm gross like a shit, cum, piss, blood cocktail. Squirting your face in prison, I'm murdering a rhythm. I make give them the shakes, the turbulence may just get them. We crave verbally grosser than AIDS and a mimosa. Raid licking off roaches, embracing shit in the toilet. With faces is full of syphilis, spaces gross as the sickest. Pus bubbles are popping, and this is some nasty business. Bitches with long titties, niggas and porn strictly. Sword fighting, board biting, rip from the schlong wispy. Something to make you throw up, when me is spitting the flow up. Yucky is eating throw up, or dookie right out of yoga. We sicker than meningitis, prolific relevant writers. As nasty as hugging nuts, it's trick with elephantitis. Pussy that's multicolored, get down and taste the rainbow. Nasty as Nas used to be, ayo. I'm just saying we gross.
Down from the style to the floor, that's gross. Fly through the city, lead the whole thing. You better step down to me, cause I'ma get it by any means. Any means. Down from the style to the floor, that's gross. Fly through the city, lead the whole thing. You better step down to me, cause I'ma get it by any means. Any means. Down from the style to the floor, that's gross. Fly through the city, lead the whole thing. You better step down to me, cause I'ma get it by any means. Any means. Down from the style to the floor, that's gross. Fly through the city, lead the whole thing. You better step down to me, cause I'ma get it by any means. Any means.
All right. What's happening, y'all? What's happening, my good people? Peace, family, shalom, peace and blessings, and hotep, whatever you like to rock with as far as greetings go. It's your man, Tone Space. You just heard two real good jams, both produced by yours truly, and both featuring the prominent, the young, the extremely talented, the extremely writes her songs exceptionally quick, you know? Takes after me in that regard, you know, as far as MCing goes. But her name is Mia Nicole. I will have links down below where you could get both of those singles, links to her music page, to mine, so on and so forth. But this is the show Improve. This is the show Improve, and we're here. And, you know, it's all about showing improving. That's why I had to play those two nice little jams. Again, I produced both of those tracks. No samples. Yeah. But anyway, welcome. What I want to touch on, matter of fact, let me get this little donate-y thing out of here. It feels a little bit tacky just having that on the screen, as, you know, I chop it up and discuss it with y'all. What I want to chop it up and discuss with y'all, right? I want to revisit the topic of colorism. I did this maybe about two point something years ago. I did somewhat of a video. Now, is there going to be like any grand social observation? It may. You know, I'm known to just, I could take a simple thing and just pull like a broad awareness that could hopefully edify people out of, you know, just any and everything. So you may get a little bit of that. But this is more so, you know, just to express myself and to update a few folks on who I am, where I'm from, what I'm about, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So that's the main goal. You know, I'm just totally going off the cuff, you know. But there's been some events recently that kind of had this on my mind, had it on my spirit. I said I'd do a video about it. And shout out to Angel Ramirez, because it's funny how synchronicity works. Like, I was going to do this video. I decided last night I'll do this very video I'm doing now. I was chopping it up with him in his room,
And he was kind of like touching on the colorism thing, the light skin thing and everything like that. And, you know, the synchronicity just confirmed it for me to do my video. So, you know, we're building a little bit. Yeah, dude, he's a real cool dude. You know what I'm saying? I rock with him. I could tell he's like a real good guy. You know what I mean? He also reminds me of like, I don't know, a younger, more handsome, less tall, four-headed version of myself. You know what I'm saying? So props to, shout out to Angel Ramirez. But yeah, I want to touch on this topic of colorism based on, you know, a few recent things that may have went down in, you know, the so-called black sector of YouTube and, you know, things of that caliber. All right, how should I start to give you a bit of a preface of what I'm getting at, why I'm doing that? All right, first off, we have Mr. Player B, Mr. B Hogs, Be Ready, whatever you call yourself now. Now, this guy has been, all right, he saw my other video that I did a couple years back on the colorism thing. And ever since then, he's been either exaggerating or just blatantly lying about what I said in there. He says that up until recently, I just started considering myself black, that before then I used to consider myself a white boy. Total fabrication. Now, when I go into the details of the video, you'll get to bear witness to exactly what it is he's exaggerating and turning into a fabrication, right? But it's a little bit due to the, you know, the nonsense and the slander that he's talking, and, you know, a little bit due to some other recent things that have been going on. Now, those that are in the know, you're in the know, but just to catch everyone else up to speed, and I won't put, you know, people's names out there, but there's a young Caucasian woman. And she's been in the mix with, you know, different black folks that do their YouTube thing and everything, so to speak, right? Now, there's one gentleman that she was calling a monkey. And, you know, he's a black brother, darker, not like super dark skin, but yeah, darker than me, you know, which accounts to almost any and every black person. But yeah, he's like a medium brown to brown complected brother, you know, very prominent melanation type features, everything like that. Now, people have been calling him a monkey for a little while. You know, we joke, we talk a bunch of crap to each other and everything. Now, I said this before. I always said that, even, you know, I had my disputes with him. I always said that I personally don't think he looks like a monkey. Like, yeah, I really don't. And the person that started calling him a monkey, I don't even think its inception is from, you know, his phenotype suggesting he looks like a monkey. There's a video of him literally like going like this. So I think that's where the whole thing originated from, right? So, but I mean, as we all know, monkey has been used as a term of slander. It's been a byword, if you will. You know, if you're familiar with Deuteronomy 28, you know, to use, you know, that's used against us, to diss us and stuff like that. Very racially charged. You know what I'm saying? From the Ku Klux Klan, from slavery to the 60s, the hoses, and, you know, and everything like that. Even up until today, up to today. You know what I'm saying? So monkey, monkey, monkey. That's a common term that they use against us. Even though, as I prefaced, if you follow evolution, which I don't, but it's still a very popular scientific theory, the theory of evolution, you will find out that according to that theory, Caucasian people would be more close to a monkey genetically and even by features than, you know, a black man or a black woman. You know what I'm saying? I prefaced Ron Perlman from Sons of Anarchy and Hellboy and all that stuff. I mean, monkey ass dude. I mean, I'm just saying it is what it is. Plus, all monkeys have thinner lips. A lot of them are, you know, when you shave them, they're white. The hair texture, the fur, which would be closer to a white person's. Then you have the work on the insides under the hood. You have the Rh positive blood type, which is supposedly related to more monkeys and stuff like that. You have the higher concentration of Neanderthal genes. You know, if you follow the evolutionary path from, you know, Neanderthal to ape to man, or whatever the order is. You know what I'm saying? So even if, you know, the evolutionary theory will tell you that white people are closer to monkey. But as they do with everything, they turn stuff on its head. You know what I'm saying? They'll take an L and they'll put it on us and make it look like we got that L. They have us holding this thing when really, you know, it's theirs and theirs alone. You know what I mean? But all right, so this white woman was going along with the whole thing, calling this particular gentleman a monkey. Now, that in and of itself may not suggest that it's racially charged, because as I said already, people have been calling him a monkey as far as like a joke or a diss for a while now. So, you know, you could kind of say, you know, she's just going with the flow. Then recently I had a falling out with her of some sort, And now she's calling me a monkey as well. She's calling both of us a monkey. So I did a video talking about that, and I basically said, look, you're calling me a monkey and you're calling him a monkey. I'm kind of like on one end of the spectrum as far as black, you know, feature-wise, skin complexion and all that, and the other gentleman's like on another one. So I was basically saying that suggests to me that you just think all black folks are monkeys. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we cover like a wide range of different phenotypes and you know, different shapes and sizes of black. You know what I mean? Now, I also want to say, if it was just that, her calling me a monkey, her calling him a monkey, and it was that alone, I would probably not try to pull the good old race card out. I honestly wouldn't. I'm the type of person, I'm not really big on pulling the race card out, you know, for any and everything. I've recently called it the sharp tongue of Sharpton, you know, because there's a lot of situations where the sharp tongue of Sharpton comes out. What do I mean by that? Well, you know, I'm sure y'all are familiar with Al Sharpton. And through the years, he's been, you know, first on the scene at different types of discrimination and stuff like that. And, you know, racism against black folks, you know, which in and of itself, that's cool. However, my personal opinion, I found him to be at so many different things, and it seems like it could just be the slightest idea of racism, or it could be a situation that doesn't even look like it's racially charged, but he'll still be there, you know, saying that it's racially charged. He's at any and everything. And my theory is that is a purposeful psychological ploy. You know what I'm saying? For him to be at any and every situation that, you know, claiming racism, basically crying wolf, mixing crying wolf with times when the wolf is actually there on the attack, meaning he'll be at things against black people genuinely, and then I also theorize that he'll be at things that aren't as genuine to make the entire movement kind of look like a joke. You know what I'm saying? That's just my theory. I call it the sharp tongue of Sharpton. You know what I'm saying? So when I see people just pull the race card all willy-nilly, I look at it as suspect, and I actually urge people to really vet whatever you're going through or whatever you want to talk about to see if it really is a racial issue. You know what I'm saying? So yes, the sharp tongue of Sharpton. But so as I said, had it just been this woman calling both of us monkeys alone, I probably wouldn't have even banged out that ace of spades or whatever. However, it's been that mixed with a couple of other situations. It seemed like it followed a trend with this woman that suggested to me that, you know, it's a racially charged thing, right? So the feedback I got, people took to the idea that when I was just mentioning that this woman is now calling me a monkey as well and calling him one, to say that all black people are monkeys, people took it as if I was surprised by that. You know what I'm saying? As if that surprised me, like, it is, how dare you call me a monkey with my light skin and my bright eyes? I cannot be a monkey. Those are those black people. I am of a different variety. I cannot be called a monkey. You know what they say, what's the French? Shaka blah, or however that goes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a big surprise. No. And I broke this down in the video, but I'm rehashing because it's gonna, you know, it's all gonna connect to a nice story. So yeah, I was telling people, no, I wasn't surprised. I was just pointing that out so other people could see it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to like show people, look, this is how I see it, and I want you guys to see it. Had she just called him a monkey alone, all right, I could understand, well, you know, she's just a follower going along with the common diss term that a lot of people are already calling him already. But now you're adding my monkey ass to the monkey situation, and now it's like, oh, well, shit, you got my bright ass and his darker ass as monkeys? Yeah, I guess we all monkeys to you, huh? But no, I was not surprised. I was not surprised. I've been called a monkey before. In fact, my nickname, even though my fellow students in not elementary school, middle school or junior high school, you know, they were like black and Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. However, my nickname was actually Chimp, you know, because kind of like the way my jaw protrudes, so to speak. And, you know, as you're growing up, you know, maybe some features will become more prominent than others because, you know, you're just weird looking because you're growing so fast, you're going through puberty and everything. So it's like, you see how the jaw kind of protrudes like up to the line of the nose? You know, it's a common phenotype, I notice anyway, and, you know, in black folks, especially like Africans and stuff like that. So you know, so they called me Chimp because I guess I had a chimp-like mandible, you know what I'm saying? Which I guess my monkey ass still got that, right? So, yeah, and I've been called monkeys by people on some racist stuff as well. So what I was trying to say was like, no, in no way was I trying to separate myself or act like I'm so surprised, like, oh, I am a monkey too. No, I am not a monkey only. He could be a monkey, or those that look like him, monkey. Nah, not at all. It's not what I was doing. To put it short, you know, in general terms, I was not cooning. I was not trying to coon, and yeah, that's not what it was. I wasn't surprised. Everything she was on, it kind of followed a certain trend where that was kind of to be expected. But, you know, it got me thinking, you know, the situation kind of got me thinking, you know, like being a lighter skinned person, or I'll even go as far as say technically a mixed person. Now, I've said this before, especially in the video I did a while back. I consider myself black. You know, I consider myself a black man. However, if you had to do the genetic tracing of all of my features, shit, I'll probably come out mixed or whatever, right? Took this thing real quick. But yeah, I consider, you know, myself black, and I have my two fine parents on both sides of the screen. Oh, in this corner, we have my father, who I did not grow up with because he was going through things, you know, things that a lot of people in the 70s went through when COINTELPRO was on their mission to dump certain type of agents of destruction, pun intended. You know, basically the drug game fucked him up. You know, as far as, you know, on the user aspect of things. But yeah, that's my father. His mother was French and Italian. I don't believe I've ever met her. You know, I was living with them up until like 3 years old, and you know, my mom's was like, yo, you can't be doing that drug bullshit. Kicked him out the house, and that was the end of that. I'd see him on occasion here and there, but really not like that. Then I heard he died. I got no confirmation, nothing like that, right? But that's my father. As you could see, you know, he's of a browner complexion. However, let me make this a little bigger. However, you could tell by like his nose, maybe some with the chin area, and yeah, he had like a straighter hair. Even though my hair is slicked back, you know, mine is usually curly. It's just when it grows, you slick it back, and you know, it gets like that. You can see from the baby pictures, I have like a, I guess, a smoother textured type of curly, so to speak, or whatever. A good blend of my mother's hair and my father's hair. But yeah, so his mother was French and Italian, and his father was black. His father is from St. Croix, and his mother is French and Italian. I don't know if, you know, where she's from, but 3 of my 4 grandparents are from the Caribbean, St. Croix. And then we have on this other end, and in this corner, the actual parent that did raise me, we have my mother, and here I am in my 3rd birthday. Okay. Now, as you can see, that's a black woman. What they call fair complected, which is a term I don't really like. But, you know, as you can see she's a light-skinned woman. Her hair is definitely thicker than, I guess, my father's and my own. But I guess kind of in the middle. You ladies would know about the 4C and all that. I don't know 4C. I don't know the original drink of the Davis family. Shit, I don't know. I'm not a woman. But, you know, yeah, y'all could come up with whatever texture hers is. It's kind of like a somewhat middle texture. And her mother and her father are both from St. Thomas. And as I understand, it's like Danishy Dutch mixed with African, you know, from the slave trade and everything like that, right? So, and it's kind of like messed up. I have like no real grandparent knowledge or history because my grandmother on my mother's side passed when I was 3, and my grandfather passed when I was 4. So I have little. I mean, I remember like jiggling my my grandfather's keys. That's like the only memory I have. But yeah, I believe my mom, from pictures I see, her mother was darker, and her father was kind of like a more goldenish complexion. You know what I'm saying? And you know, there you see me in both of the things. I think I look like a good blend between them both. So, you know, I just consider myself a black man. I mean, in reality, and you know, the Moors like to talk about this, what black man is really black? What is black? A charbroiled corpse. That is black. You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about black, as far as actual skin complexion, we're talking about shades of brown, from light to all the way dark. So I like to get that out the way first. Like, none of us are actually physically black. At least I don't think so. I mean, I do see some very, very dark African people. Now, are they so dark where they're like a deep tone of brown, where it's just so dark that they almost look black? Or do they actually have black skin? I think it's just, varying levels of brown. You know what I'm saying? The rich soil of the earth color, right? So basically, I'm a black man that comes from a long line of light-skinned people. You know what I'm saying? So I consider myself black, but get the little logo back on the screen. I'll keep the folks up there for y'all though. Right? So yeah, I consider myself a black man, but however, growing up, now keep in mind my mother is, she's in the 70s now, so she's born in the 40s, came up in like the 50s, civil rights movement, all that stuff, even though we're talking about New York as opposed to like down south where it was really getting rugged. But she faced a lot of discrimination and everything. And I say she faced a lot of the psyche of so-called white supremacy, which is another term I just do not like. I do not like the word white supremacy, and I'll go into that at another time, but for the sake of, context sake, we'll use that. So, watching television, stuff like that. So, she kind of grew up how, as I understand, a lot of more light-skinned folk were, like back in those days. Kind of, I guess first recognizing that their lighter skin and stuff like that is somewhat of an advantage in the white man, white woman's world, as opposed to darker hued people and everything. So, I'm saying, she's a product of her environment. You know what I'm saying? She did not like to be called just black. She wanted to be recognized as mixed, straight like that. And when she raised me not to consider myself black, but to consider myself mixed. And I totally think that's just part of the, the conditioning. You know what I'm saying? But part of the conditioning. But so for years, growing up into my teens and stuff, and even early adulthood, I considered myself mixed. I had a Black Planet profile, sexy man mixed. I wore that because that's what I grew up with. That's what I was told I am. You know what I'm saying? By, the woman that made me. So, that's what I rocked with. But then it got to the point where people, a lot of women and stuff, would ask, when I say that I'm mixed, they would then ask, well, who is black and who is white? As far as your parents go. And I tell them, well, oh no, you see, my father, he was mixed too, but he's the one that had an all-white mother and a black father. And my mother, both of her parents were black, but they're light-skinned, they're from St. Thomas. And then I think even their parents, nobody was all white. So, if you want to go to an actual who was a white person, we would have to go way back. And it just got all complicated. You know what I'm saying? And, a lot of times people wouldn't be, they wouldn't want to be rude. But, after a while, I got the vibe of that side eye. I started to get that, like, this nigga fronting, basically. You know what I'm saying? Yo, black ass, your yellow ass is trying to call yourself mixed, yet you can't, you shake your nigga tree, and you know what I'm saying, you got to go way back in the leaves to pull these white motherfuckers out, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So it got to the point, and then even a few people would tell me, you know what I'm saying, a few black folk will tell me, it's like, yo, why you trying to be white? Why can't you accept being black, nigga? You black, da 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 da. You don't got no white, blah, blah. And then, even some of them are of the mentality that, hey, even if you have an all-white parent and another black parent, you are still black. You know what I'm saying? But basically, the vibe that I was getting, the reaction I was getting from people, be it a side eye or overtly telling me, was basically, nah, nigga, you black. Cut that shit out. Stop trying to think you all that and all that stuff. Which I didn't. I never thought that I was all that or anything from skin complexion or anything else. Now, one contributing factor to that, because there's a third or a third and a fourth thing that people would think I am too. As a lot of you may know, I'm from New York. I grew up in East Harlem. East Harlem, right on the cusp of Spanish Harlem. Going to school, elementary, junior high school and everything, I was around blacks and Hispanics, Dominican, Puerto Rican, and, you know, other black folk, whatever. So you probably guessed that a lot of people would just think I'm Puerto Rican or Dominican. They'll spit the mira out at me, and for a while I just, you know, I just like act like I'm going along, until eventually I just told people, look, I no speak a Spanish and no Espanol, and I'm not of Puerto Rican or Dominican descent. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so a lot of people, you know, just seeing me, if they don't go into details, they would think I was just either Puerto Rican or Dominican anyway. You know what I mean? But for those that I did, you know, have that conversation with, I would, you know, for the longest time I would say that I'm mixed, because that's what I was taught that I was. You know what I'm saying? But eventually, after getting, you know, enough of them, why you trying to think you all that? You black, da. And, you know, me looking up, doing my own history, and even into finding out about melanin and this and that, and, you know, just doing the knowledge on my own and taking a step back at the social observation. At that point, I realized, well, you know what? Socially, I am a black man. You know, if we really want to go down to the genetics, as I said already, I have no problem acknowledging that I am a mixed person. On a genetic level, it's probably obvious. But, you know, as far as socially, and I would say nationality-wise, but my, you know, what I wear as a nationality goes a little bit more deeper than that, and we could save that for another video. I want this to be, you know, for like general, you know, populace or whatever. So long story short, for the past maybe, what, 10, 15 years, I've just acknowledged myself as a black man. Excuse me. And this other guy, Player B, whatever his name is, that's where his slander came in, where he said, hey, just a few years ago, Tone Space was saying that he was white. I've never called myself a white man. I have a few times called myself a black and a white man, you know, going along with the whole notion that I am mixed, but I've never called myself a white man. That's out of here. That's just totally bogus. So if you ever heard him try to claim that, you know, I ever consider myself a white man, no, that's never happened. So basically, long story short, to this day, I consider myself a black man, and, you know, a very light-skinned black man. So I kind of wanted to touch on that. And now, so now that we have that premise that I do consider myself a black man, obviously I'm a light-skinned black man. That's evidently clear, right? Can't wait till the summer comes, man. I get my nice, you know, more of a golden tone going on and stuff like that. But, you know, wintertime, it is what it is. You know I'm saying? I gotta live in Florida or the Caribbean or something where year-round I can be, you know, nice and golden. Because I do soak up the sun very well. I don't really get, like, sunburnt. Like, I love it. I feel like it charges me like a battery. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's so hot and humid. I love it for some reason. You know what I'm saying? The sun is my friend. And as far as, you know, the whole black don't crack, I think I'm doing a pretty good job. Pretty good job. Got a birthday coming up soon. You know what I mean? And, yeah. I mean, y'all could comment below what you think my age is, or what you think my age should be, or whatever. But I think I do a good job. Like, yeah, I don't get burnt by the sun. As light as I am, I don't have that type of skin that, you know, freckles up or just gets all super red. Even though I believe my undertone is more red, because, you know, if I get flushed, I might look reddish or whatever. But, you know, me and the sun, we're good peoples, right? So we've established that I do consider myself a black man. Now, sure, there's a lot of light-skinned folks that recognize that they're black men, and some of them are probably on some light-skindidid shit, where I guess they think they're all that, or something of that caliber, which goes back to this whole thing with this woman, you know, where people were thinking that I was trying to say, like, I was so shocked that she included me in the monkey thing because I'm separate from y'all. You know what I'm saying? And it just got me thinking, like, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of light-skinned folks that are like that. You know what I'm saying? And I've heard the opinion from a lot of black men, you know, when they talk about mulattoes, they say they don't trust them much of the time. You know what I'm saying? Because they play for both sides. When they're around the white folks, they're going to be on the white folk stuff. When they're around the black folks, they're going to be around the black folk stuff. And they're going to run to the white man and you know, be an agent and stuff like that. I don't really know about that because, as I said a little earlier, I did grow up in East Harlem. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the hood, so I don't have, and I can't be a fake person. You know what I'm saying? I consider myself intelligent, and as I learn things, I convey myself like an intelligent type of person. However, you know, the traditional Caucasian lifestyle things that they may have went through, if I can't relate to it, I'm not going to be a part of it. And I say honestly, whoever you are, you know, however you're brought up, however you're raised, rock out with that. I said a little while ago, shoot, if you're like a Carlton Banks, you're black and you grew up in Beverly Hills or Bel Air or whatever, then, you know, it's understandable. You rock with your white people and you have that, you know, that corny dance he does and stuff like that. However, at the same time, being that you are in Bel Air and the educational system will be part of the so-called dominant society, you know, do take a look at your skin and say, you know what, well, let me learn, you know, be proactive and learn more about your history and the stuff that they don't tell you from the environment that you're in. You know what I mean? Some people could say, well, Tone, do you be trying to learn extra stuff about the white folks and that white side of history? Well, the answer to that is I don't have to, because we grow up in school, you know, having European society and history shoved down our throats. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, so when I'm proactive to learn stuff, I'll, you know, learn more about the African or the black side of things. And, you know, I've been through different type of doctrines. I was into the whole Kemet and everything like that, and the melanation and the Kundalini, like you name it, I've checked it out, from metaphysical levels to just, you know, casual levels about African society or this society or that society. And you know what I'm saying, the Black Wall Street and the stuff that we had, you know, back in the day when we were trying to, you know, really set our flag down and do our own thing, and how the government, you know, was not having that and was super shook and, you know, disturbed all of that. So yes, I have been, and it's always an ever learning process. I'm, you know, still learning a lot more. As I said, I'll probably have another video where we'll really go into where I am nationally, you know, as a nation I'm part of and stuff like that. We'll get into that, but give a quick shalom to the homie Hood Jiu-Jitsu. You know what I'm saying? If you peeping this, shalom family. So yeah, so I can't, so all right, so I've never, at least purposely, I've never been on some light-skinned supremacist type of stuff. And it's funny, I say purposefully or purposely because, you know, looking back, you know, because it really gets tricky. It really becomes a fine line. All right, like if you look a certain way and you like your features, like let's say there's a woman that likes me due to my eye color or something like that, and I'm talking to her, and I know she likes me due to my eye color, and I decide to give her, you know, nice gaze. Well, not really none of that. That's some old gay stuff, but you know what I'm saying? Certain seductive stares and stuff like that to really, you know, draw her in because I know she likes my eyes and everything. Now, what do you guys think? Is that being on some light-skinned, light-eyed supremacy stuff? Am I wielding this European weapon of recessive gened eyes to lure, you know what I'm saying, this young lady, you know, into my lair of white supremacy? Or am I just a man that's just using, you know, my own features, you know, just as I may talk to a woman and she may like my level of intellect, or, you know, the pacing of the way I speak, my voice or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's where it kind of becomes you know, a fine line, because aside from being under this race or under that race, you know, at the same time, we are individuals. Like a woman may like a beard, and I may keep my beard trimmed to a certain degree, and, you know, that attracts her. Or as I said, it may be my intellect, it may be this, you know, it may be that. Maybe the way I move on a dance floor or something, who knows? So that's why I say, like, I've never purposefully or purposely looked at my, you know, bright ass as someone that's getting over due to my bright ass. If anything, I've just rocked out by just me being me. You know what I mean? But, you know, as you can see, it could probably get tricky there. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, when you recognize who you are and it's just about you, it's going to fall under a racial or a phenotypical banner, or you know, it's going to be under one of them things anyway, because it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? If, you know, I have the, you know, if my jaw protrudes a little bit more, then, you know, that's black or African. If my eyes are light, that's more of a European thing. Like, we're going to wield our race in any way possible, anyway, or just in general, just, you know, because these are our features, right? And another thing that got me thinking on, like, the fine line is, okay, these days, you know, I'm grown, I'm very mature, or I don't want to say I'm very mature. I'm actually still like a, you know, a silly idiot that laughs at any and every doodle and pee-pee joke. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to like crack up right now just by saying that. However, I've matured a lot, and in the younger days, I could say I've went through stages of being, I guess, as people would say, conceited and stuff like that, based on a phenotypical thing. Now I'm also tall, and, you know, I look like whatever I look like and everything. And there's been times where I thought I was all that, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? But maybe I could sound off in the comments. Was I thinking I'm all that just because I'm a light-skinned nigga? Or was I just thinking I'm all that because I'm me, this is what I look like, this is what I have to offer, this is what I bring to the table? You know what I'm saying? Because quite honestly, I think had I been a Tyson Beckford complexion or something like that, I'd have rocked out the same way. I'd have probably been just conceited. I just think that was just something that was in me, and, you know, not just on me. You know what I'm saying? I think it just came from an inside place. But, you know, through the years, I've grown a whole lot in that regard. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to say I'm not conceited at all to any level, because anything we attempt to do is always going to be an ever-learning process. And to say that I've completely broken out of that, that's kind of to say that you know, I have no more maturing in that area to do. And, you know, I may have a lot more, you know, maturing to do in that area. But in general, I don't consider myself a conceited person now. More about intellectually, you know, stimulating someone, and I'm about women that appreciate not just my intellect. I love women that just appreciate my heart and just who I am, or who I thrive to be as a genuine, kind, and good-loving creature. Because I feel if women will see that and they'll get turned on by that, then that should tell you something. That means that's probably in them as well. You know what I mean? So, yeah, the inner traits are definitely a lot bigger of a deal to me than they may have been in, like, let's say, the late teens, early 20s. You know what I'm saying? I still always tried to be a genuine person, and those were important at the same time. However, you know, on a physical level, I was probably a little bit extra in my bag than an actual mature man should be. You know what I mean? So, yeah, would that be considered me being on some light-skinned supremacist stuff? Or is that just me being myself? You know what I mean? Because it's not like I looked at any other light-skinned folk and really said, oh yeah, they're going to get more than this and that and that. You know what? I just thought of a funny thing. It was a few Halloweens ago, right? You know, and this is another, you know, light, bright dude, eye color comparable to mine and everything like that. We were at a club, and I think he was a bouncer there or whatever. And, you know, we started politicking with some chicks. We ended up, both of us ended up making out with like two different chicks that were friends with each other. You know what I'm saying? The one I was with, beautiful. Ooh, beautiful. Chocolate, deep, lovely tone. And he had like, excuse me. And he was with like a more caramel complected one, right? So for whatever reason, we both ended up making out with each of them and everything. And at some point, it's kind of like, you know, he gave me like the fist bump, bro, type thing. I think we actually did do the fist bump, but it was also accompanied with like, yeah, you know, us light-skinned niggas, we be getting it in, son. Like, and you know, that could have just been general male bonding. You know what I'm saying? Just as a way of, you know, just something we have in common that he could have been shouting out altogether. Or it could have been as far as, you know, he just thinks like that shit. If you a light-skinned motherfucker, you the shit. You know what I mean? I don't know. But, you know, I went with it, gave him the bump. No doubt, son. You know, and we kept doing what we're doing. And, you know, it was a good night. It was a good night that night. Ah, the memories. But personally, I've never felt that in particular, like at another person that's a light bright like myself, or that may have, you know, other mixed features. Like, I never just think to myself like, oh, that's the man right there. You know what I mean? And another thing, maybe some of y'all could feel me, when I think of things on that level, as far as light skin, light eyes, stuff like that, maybe let's see if any of y'all feel me on this. I feel like it kind of minimalizes me as a person. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, oh, perfect example, my homie Dredd, back in college, he once said, because our other homeboy named Ed told my man Dredd about some type of social thing called the black tan fantasy, I guess, which has something to do with black women wanting a man that has European features as well as black features. I guess it's called a black tan fantasy. So from that point on, and this is going to really bring home the point that I'm talking about, anytime that you know, around Dredd, a woman caught my interest, or I caught a woman's interest, or I was politicking with a woman and it seemed like things were going on, or even if we're walking down the street and he sees a chick glancing our directions and looking at me or something like that, he would always say, well, that's that black tan fantasy, that's that black tan fantasy. Now, for all I know, he could have been absolutely right, or at least in some of those situations he probably was right. But to me, it felt like I didn't like when he said that totally, because it felt like it's minimalizing me. It's like saying, oh, well, shoot, I'm only getting this love because, you know, I fit under this phenotype. You know what I'm saying? So basically, I could be an ugly ass motherfucker, but it don't matter because I fit under this phenotype. You get what I'm saying? So every time he said the black tan fantasy, I was like, oh boy, here we go with that black tan fantasy shit again. You know what I'm saying? It makes me feel like it's minimalizing me as an individual. You know what I'm saying? So for that reason, and, you know, just in general, I've never really been on the oh, I'm light skinned and I'm all this and I'm all that over, you know, just being a light complected brother. Nah. Take a sip of water real quick. Something else I wanted to say. Hopefully it comes to me. There's some other things I wanted to say. And as far as women, I'm a black woman lover, man. I love black women. I've never been had a, you know, relation, situation, whatever, with a white woman. But I do want to say it has nothing to do with anything that white women are lacking, and it has everything to do with what sisters have. Boy, I tell you, if black women didn't exist, then yeah, I may have rocked out with some white women. It's quite possible. But the invention of the black woman has got me tethered to them. And including in that spectrum, you could also include, you know, your Puerto Ricans and, you know, Dominicans, Cuban even, you know what I'm saying? It's a long range because, you know, on a genetic level, a lot of these people are just comparable to me, or just with mixed features, but they just happen to be part of another culture. But, you know, that body on, you know, on that Puerto Rican sister, you know, still has the propensity to badow, you know what I mean? So, yeah. But in general, it's always been black women, you know what I mean? And I don't even know the source of what it is. Maybe it's from where I've grown up, because I know a lot of people from the hood, and, you know, they'll rock out with white women, and, you know, and as I understand, a lot of black folks see white women as something exotic, you know what I'm saying, or I guess something different. You know, they're bright, they're this, they're that, and, you know, a couple of people have even made mention of that, you know, that whole white woman is exotic thing, in relation to the woman that I was speaking on earlier about, you know, in regard to her talking all that monkey nonsense and everything, saying like, yeah, a lot of people like her because she's exotic, because she's a white woman, or at least they think so. I won't get into it in this video, but This particular one, nah, I don't see that, because there's another underlying similarity between different folks with that woman, which is spot on to why people, you know, are rocking out with her. That's the most candid, cool way I could put it. Those in the know, you know what I mean? So, yeah, a lot of people, I mean, I see it though, like even in the black sector, different white women, and, you know, little voice recordings I heard people say, I mean, I get it, you know what I'm saying? It is something different. To me, I just feel like, you know, back in the day we had such an overload of seeing white women as the symbol of beauty. So to me, I guess I never saw them as exotic, because that was already the considered standard. You know what I mean? You're growing up, you're seeing the Miss America, you turn on the TV, you're watching the Wonder Years, you see Winnie Cooper, you see, who's another one I like? Because, yeah, when I was a kid, you know, a little TV head or whatever, there was a lot of white chicks that I was digging. You know, other like young white girls that were around my age. Topanga from Boy Meets World. You know what I mean? Shit, I even like Vicky the Robot. Small Wonder. Woo! Vicky the Robot. That was a badass robot. And shit, Gem. Truly, truly, truly outrageous. Even though I was a big fan of the Misfits, I guess, you know, just that edge of a bad girl just made me feel more like, you know what I mean? You know, the Misfits, you know, those are the ones you really want to like. Let me not get into it, but those are the ones you really want to like. You know what I'm saying? Gem, you know, all goody two shoes and stuff. Oh, I got another similar example where a lot of people like the good one, I like the bad one. Wrestling. Queen Elizabeth. People love, or Elizabeth, right? People loved Elizabeth, Macho Man's girl, right? They loved her, you know. She had a very wholesome look, and I could see under white features, she was a pretty woman. Man, I tell you, I was feeling Scary Sherry. Scary Sherry was just bad to me. Like, yeah, she just had like that menacing sexiness about her. Like Elizabeth, man, she was alright. But yeah, I was all about that Scary Sherry. You know what I'm saying? For y'all wrestling heads that may get what I'm saying. But the overall point I'm trying to say is, you know, I've grown up on seeing white women as the standard of beauty. You know what I mean? So, I guess to me, at least initially, black women were always my exotic. You know, they were always the exotic thing to me. And yeah, so I mean, maybe that's a huge reason why I never rocked out with white chicks, because I grew up, you know, having them as a symbol of beauty, just, you know, shoved down my psyche. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it's that, I don't know. But you know, it's always about the sisters for me. You know what I mean? And we've got so many different shades and varieties and looks of women that, yeah, there's a very large exotic spectrum in there. I love nappy hair. It sounds kind of messed up because, you know, we're so conditioned in this pseudo so-called white supremacy that you hear the word nappy head, you think something negative. But I love a nice electric, thick head of nappy ass hair. I'm not doing a soft porn. I was about to, but yeah, fingers gripping that. Oh, that's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? Actually hearing the static, you know, little static shock you get, like if you got a sweater on. Ooh, beautiful thing, very beautiful thing. I do not know for the life of me why women want to, you know, rock out with these weaves and all that. But I guess it goes back to what I was saying. You know, when they saw a gem as the symbol of beauty in, you know, 1989 or whatever, you know, the long flowing Rapunzel ass hair, they want to rock out with it. But hey, if this could help even one sister that's on that weave stuff, take it from me, right? Because I know I ain't the only one. We love some nice thick ass nappy ass hair. Believe me when I tell you. Believe me when I tell you. As well as a black chick. You know what I'm saying? 2-syllable black, meaning a very rich dark woman. And as you know, in our community, black is also used as like a weaponized word, almost like a byword, if you will, with that word as well. You know, oh, you're black ass, you're this, you're that, you're that. But so, you know, it sounds funny when I say it, but no, a black woman, nice shiny glowing ass skin and some nappy ass hair. It's a beautiful, 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 beautiful thing. You know what I mean? To me, that's exotic. Now, don't get me wrong. I find like in between textures exotic as well. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I love hair anyway, you know, like nice natural hair. So, but just your standard all the way straight, like Asian or white girl hair, I don't really see that as exotic, because I was grown and trained on that, you know, variety hair texture. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's just like, you know, the low, not to say it's like low, like you were some lowly straight haired people, but no, that's like the lowest denominator of, you know, of what we see like all the time. So to me, the exotic was always a black woman, a Hispanic woman, a Puerto Rican woman. You know what I mean? So, okay. I do also want to add one more thing, because I've been through this. Maybe some of y'all more lighter hued folk can relate to this, right? I've been hard through the, you know, the Black Power movement, and, you know, when you learn about melanin, this and that, and, you know, and all the different details of different things, you know, that we go through, and the richness of the skin tone, and the way that the muscle twitch fibers are way stronger in, you know, a dark person, and even the eye color, you know, your brain eye coordination and hand eye coordination is much better if you have melanated eyes of like brown, as opposed to the recessive gene, as I'm looking at you through, and you can see right now, of light colored eyes. So basically what I'm getting at is, when you go through like the Black Power movement and all of that, and you know what I'm saying, you a washed down looking ass motherfucker like myself, it may make you want to go a little extra hard to compensate. And I admit, I've been there. I've been through that, you know, extra hard thing. There's a term for it, I forget. If you're in the comments, you know, sound off on that term if you know what it is. It's something that they attributed. They said that Malcolm X, or they theorized that Malcolm X had that, him being a light brother and stuff like that. He went, you know, extra hard due to, you know, his complexion and everything. I'm not saying definitely it's true. Honestly, I just think he had that spirit in him, and it was gonna come out anyway. He could have been, you know what I'm saying, dark as this, well, you can't see this, he could have been very dark or very light, and I don't think it would have mattered. The spirit was in him, not on him. You know what I mean? But yeah, there's a term. So I've been through that. I've been through, you know, the extra hard pro-black, and I'm sure a lot of it, or at least some of it, is, you know, attributed to me being on the lesser side of the strong melanation that, you know what I'm saying, that we praise and we herald, you know what I'm saying, the black community, and there's, you know, pro-black people and everything. And I say that to say that I've been through that, and right now I'm kind of done with that. Not that I'm not, you know, for black empowerment. I absolutely am. However, it's just things that I've seen in the quote-unquote pro-black pro-black movement. You know, anything from different people scamming each other, and then people fronting, swirling on the side. They got a white chick. Meanwhile, I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. I'm biggity, biggity, black, y'all. I'm blacker than better, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? The fear of a black planet. Or Fear of a Hat. What was the name of that movie? Fear of a Hat. Some shit like that. But homeboy had the white shorty, and, you know, was pumping his fist like this. Holler if you hear me. Pump up if you're pissed. Right? So now I'm at the level where, yes, I'm still for black empowerment. I'm for human empowerment. I'd say it would start with more melanated people before it would start with anyone else. You know, I'm all the way there with that. But I guess kind of like what I was saying about the sharp tongue of Sharpton, I'm not just going hard at any and every situation, you know, just at the slightest inclination that it may be a discrimination, or at the slightest inclination that, you know, maybe there's a strength in this, and I'm just going to extrapolate it to like great lengths and details. Nah. And the way I advise everyone to do is just do what's in your heart. That's pretty much where I'm at it now. Try do what's in my heart, stimulant free. What I mean by that, without the stimulants of being light bright like myself, where I feel like I overcompensate. You know what I'm saying? Without the stimulant of that ultra emotionally charged speech that they give you. Oh, you're black. You're touched with this and that and da 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 da. Without all of that. Without just without, you know, any extra stimulants. you know, work from within and do what you feel, you know, that's from within your heart as far as that's concerned. You know what I mean? And if you aren't like from the hood or anything and you didn't grow up in a black experience and you are black, then definitely learn. You know, learn more about your culture, learn more about your people. You know what I'm saying? Try to, you know, trace where you're from. If you're indigenous to the U.S., if you're from Africa, you know what I'm saying? If you go back all the way to Israel from after Africa, or you actually, you know, technically you know, learn as much as you can the details, because, you know, obviously you didn't grow up on these things. You know what I'm saying? Don't let the entire white world just encapsulate you, because, I mean, let's face it, at the same time, you know, you're gonna go through it from white society. They're gonna take a look at you and run with an assumption. It just happens, you know. Before I end this, I'll share one more quick story, right? And I've had moments like this. This is kind of more to re-edify what I was saying about how I've never been on some, like, I think I'm all that because I'm light skinned, or I feel like I'm not susceptible to racism and stuff like that. Take you back to some years ago. It was in the DC area. Shout out to homie Cocaine. Shit, LJ might know him. His name kind of buzzed in the streets a little bit in Northwest DC. It was me, Cocaine, my homeboy Alias, who was like a lily white man. You know, brighter eyes than myself. Kind of blondish, dirty, well, not dirty, blondish, reddish, light brownish beard. You know what I'm saying? He always kept a baldy, so you didn't see what's on top of his head. But, you know, he definitely had a light beard. Super bright. You know what I'm saying? Brighter than me, if you could believe that people brighter than me exist. You know what I'm saying? I got this light on me, trust me. I still got, you know what you can see? And I know I'm just like reaching for a lot right now. It probably looks pathetic. But you could tell when someone has some form of melanation when you like look at their, like the borders, like the elbow. You can see the, you know, you can see I got some, you know what I'm saying? I got some tone to me. It's just, you know, just on totally on the other side. Like some people, even some other like black people or phenotypically mixed people, like if you look at this part of their fingers, they don't have even that brownish at the tip. You know what I'm saying? Elbow brownish at the tip. And, ooh, I was going to say something crazy. But, I'm brown another place. Oh, man, let me stop. I can't even drop an innuendo without just sounding crazy. Yeah, so forget all that. But, yeah, you know, I've got symbols and signs where you could see I'm of, you know, actually have some melanation, you know, my, you know, struggle melanation and whatnot. So long story short, my man Alias, super white guy, homie Cocaine, you know, was a light-skinned brother, and there was a couple other people, right? We in the car. Fortunately, I was clean. I didn't have anything bad on me. Neither did Alias. I didn't know what any of them other cats had. But, you know, for whatever reason, we get pulled over by the cops. And, you know, of course, they take us out. They check our IDs. I forget if we had to, you know, hit the wall. I forget what it was. But they ended up letting us go. But then Alias told me, he was like, yo, fam, when the cop kind of pulled me over and was asking me, like, yo, what are you doing with them? You know what I'm saying? Like the police officer did that. He asked the white man, what are you doing with them? Not with this cat, that cat, and that cat, and not me. No. What are you doing with me, this other light-skinned motherfucker, this browner-skinned dude, and this other cat? You know what I'm saying? So, and, you know, I could go on to other stories of comparable things. So I already know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So back to what I was saying at the beginning, when that monkey term was thrown at me and the other brother, I already knew the bogusness of it. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to preface for other people, like, look, everybody can get it as far as, you know, this variety of racism, you know, that this woman has to offer for y'all. So, yeah, so at the end of the day, you know, I've never been on some play the white side and this and that. And the funny thing is, I got some peoples, and my man's Necro and them, they're white dudes, but they're like gully white dudes. Shout out to Necro and Mr. Hyde, you know what I mean? And, you know, they're from New York as well. They're from the hood. And the funny thing is, a lot of y'all outside of the New York tri-state area, you may not be able to relate to this, but New York is such a melting pot. Our cultures are so like intertwined and diverse within each other. Like if you're familiar with China Mac, he's a rapper. He's from Canal Street. He's from Chinatown in New York City, but he is 100% Chinese. You know what I'm saying? He used to say nigga. He's starting to like calm it down a little bit. But go look up China Mac Vlad TV. Listen to that man talk. He sound more hood than me. He sound probably just as hood as a New York cat could ever sound. If you went on voice alone, you probably would think he is black or maybe at least light skin or something. You know, he only got too deep of a voice, but you would never guess that that is a Chinese man, 100% as far as I understand. So yeah, so New York is an interesting place. I guess other big cities might be comparable. But yeah, in New York, you'll find some hard-body white dudes that, you know, grew up in the projects right next to you and everything. And China Mac is actually from a Chinese area, you know, being Canal Street in Chinatown. But, you know what I'm saying, somehow, I guess he got around, you know, some fellas. I think it happened when he was in jail because, you know, he's been locked up and stuff like that. So maybe that's what it is. And, you know, he's a rapper as well. So the point I'm saying is New York is kind of distinct in that level. Even in the inception of hip-hop, you had white folks at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? The Spanish cats, they were the graffiti artists. Black would mainly be, you know, DJ and MC. Had a lot of white breakers. What's this woman's name? Blondie, the white girl. Wasn't she like one of the original rappers? You know what I'm saying, in New York? So, you know, we're kind of interested in that regard. But yeah, to sum it up, I just wanted to, you know, touch on that. And, you know, so any like new people that rock with me that may not have seen the old video, you can, you know, just get an idea where I'm coming from, how I am, who I am, what I consider myself to be, and you know, what everything is. Just share with you guys my reality. You know what I'm saying? So I hope y'all all enjoyed it. And yeah, this is a show and prove. I didn't want to do it live, so this will probably come out on the premiere thing and whatnot. But I've been running my mouth. So with that said, families, peace.